Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about Ellis Island. Here's a picture of Ellis Island recently taken. So, first we have to talk about getting to the United States. So, most people arrived by steamship. They stayed in steerage, which was the cheapest ticket on the boat, usually in the basement, all the way at the bottom. It was crowded, windowless, hot, louse infested beds, and they had to share toilets. Some died from disease before even reaching the United States. Here's a picture of German immigrants aboarding a ship in 1874. And here's another picture of the horrors of the immigrant ship, 1869. Religious persecution. So in 1820, there were 3,000 Jews living in the United States. By 1880, it became 300,000 Jews living in the United States. Here's a picture of some German Jews in 1876. Jews faced violence in many European countries. And between 1881 and 1924, 2.5 million Jews were driven out of Eastern Europe. Many came to the United States to escape violence and practice their religion. Poverty. So farmers started to see fewer profits. Cheaper American grains were being imported into Europe, which was causing profits to go down. Additionally, there were crop failures. And this led to farmers and farm laborers losing jobs. Here we can see some pictures of Irish peasants from 1880. One of the most famous crop failures was the Irish potato famine, which saw a very large portion of the Irish population dying because of starvation. So these workers left their United States. Unemployment also was another reason. So an increase in Europe's population led to job shortages. Unemployed people could not buy necessities. So they came to the United States to find work. Here's a picture of immigrants from Eastern Europe on the deck of the SS Amsterdam. And then finally, we have political unrest. There were many political revolutions happening across Europe at this time. Europeans left so they could live independent lives. Here is a map used by German immigrants in 1853. So it shows you where they were going. You can see them going to New York, Washington, D.C., Louisiana, and some were going down to South America. European governments limited the number of professionals and men of military age from leaving their countries. Sorry about that. I'll leave that up for a second. European immigration. So between 1850 and 1910, large number of Europeans came to the United States. Before 1880, most were from Western and Northern Europe. Western being France, Spain, Northern being Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, England. But between 1850 and 1880, we saw 3.6 million Irish, 3.6 million German, and 1.8 million English people. After 1880, the number from Southern and Eastern Europe increased. So here you could see the red will be Ireland, Germany, and English, France. Whereas the South in Eastern Europe will be blue. So you could see the big change happening. And then we see something here and here. And if you know your history, you should have an idea of what's happening between 1920 and 1940. So, in the 1880s, 2.5 million immigrants left Italy, Austria, Russia, and Sweden. In the 1890s, about 3 million left Austria, Italy, and Germany. And between 1900 and 1910, immigration from Italy, Austria, and Russia reached its peak, with almost 6 million leaving. Most were Jews. So, seeing this large influx of people, the US began passing laws that limited the number of people allowed to enter. Almost 1 million came to the US in 1882. Here we have a picture of a group of women and children from Eastern Europe. The Immigration Act of 1882 decreased the number of immigrants entering. It imposed a head tax of 50 cents that had to be paid by all immigrants entering through US ports. And it created a set of criteria immigrants had to meet in order to be admitted, which led to the creation of Ellis Island. Most immigrants came through Ellis Island on the East Coast. After the creation of that law, almost all immigrants came through Ellis Island. It is located in New York Harbor and opened in 1892. It was the main processing center in the United States between 1892 and 1924. Here's another picture of Ellis Island. By 1924, almost 17 million immigrants had been processed there. And here's another picture. And so many immigrants were processed there. My own family, I believe most of my family came through Ellis Island. I know my Italian side definitely came through Ellis Island. So immigrants were examined, questioned, and their documents were inspected. It usually took between 3 and 7 hours, but 20% of immigrants were held for at least a day before processing began. So here we have a picture of immigrants at Ellis Island waiting to be processed. If they were found to have contagious disease or were mentally unfit, they were sent back home. The inspector questioned them to determine if they met legal requirements to be admitted to the United States. Those were never convicted of a felony, being able to work, and they had money in their pockets. Only 2% of immigrants were denied entry. So that's all for today. I'll see you next video.